Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srila Prabhupada Ki. So just to give you a quick recap of what we have been doing, yesterday was Govardhan Puja. Day before yesterday was Diwali. Then before that, Diwali, we were talking about Lord Ram's arrival, the significance. And we had this Ram Kavacha Stotra. Why don't we chant with this so that some energy comes back? Shri Rama Rama Raghunandana Rama Ram Shri Rama Rama Bharata Graja Rama Ram Shri Rama Rama Ranakarkasha Rama Ram Shri Rama Rama Sharanam Bhava Rama Ram Shri Ramachandra Charano Manasa Smarami Shri Ramachandra Charano Vachasa Grinami Shri Ramachandra Charano Sirasa Namami Shri Ramachandra Charano Saranam Prapadye. So we did all those on Diwali meditation. These were the four things that one of the purports in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the episode where Narada Muni was cursed by Daksha Prajapati. This purport is, in that purport Prabhupada quotes this verse, Pranayo Maranantah Syat Kopastu Kshanabhanguraha Upadesho Yatha Kalam Vidveshana Kadachana. The four things which are mentioned here. One has to be, till the end of our lives, we should be loving to all. Our anger should not last for more than a moment as needed by the situation, and we should not carry it over with us. Second, we should not be giving advice to everyone all the time. Advice should be given based on time, place and circumstances. That was third. And fourth is, never should we be inimical. Thank you. This was on the 15th day that we spoke about. Very interesting verse. The theme that we have been meditating upon is the ultimate exam of our life, and how the success or the criteria or the yardstick of success is Ante Narayana Smriti. Beautiful verse. Etavan yoga sankhya etavan sankhya yoga bhyam swadharma parinishtaya janmalabha parapumsan ante narayana smriti. And to achieve this ante narayana smriti is so difficult. That's why we were seeing how, this Kartik month is an excuse for people like us who are busy, conditioned to engage in devotional service more and more. And we've been seeing where to receive the knowledge, what kind of a tonic, what is the mentality of the toppers. And here the toppers are the gopis headed by Radharani. What is their meditation? Some Venu Geet. Then we spoke about the 5 things by which we can mold our life: Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtan, Bhagavat Shravan, Mathura Vas, Sri Murtira Shraddhaya Sevan. And each of them we have taken separately and we have tried to understand them. All these things we have done. I want to go quickly because the moment I start talking about them, by the time I reach, it will be just 5 minutes remaining. So it's unfair. So we will do something quickly and go there for today's meditation. So we had also appearance of Radha Kund and Shyama Kund. these slides, but these are all very powerful ones. Distractions also we've overcame. Okay, so today, on the 18th day, on 14th November, we're going to talk about something very significant. Of course, we can meditate on some words, go deeper into them, and see something more important and what we can learn from them. Today we will do a little differently and understand something very practical. Of course, everything that is given in our scriptures by our acharyas are very practical and relevant. But let us, sometimes, it is important in our life to reflect, pause, and take stock of things, what's going on. And that helps us to focus, recenter. Ante Narayana Smriti, even though we might have heard of, but we keep forgetting it. Kartik will end in a matter of few days. Kartik month also will come to an end. But is our determination going to remain the same as it is now? Or maybe it is, probably I'm assuming that it is little better, because we are hearing, we are coming to the temple, we are doing. Can we be able to sustain ourselves? That is something which is dependent on us. I want to quote some materialistic people before we start and get into our spiritual thing. It's a very famous quote by a person by name Mark Twain. He says that the two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. Often people don't bother about the second part. Birthday celebration does happen. We don't forget it, even if somebody recently got 50, turned 50, and he had made some nice prasadam. He had cooking service on that day in the morning. But evening he was busy having some party or celebration at home because he has crossed half century. Anyway, the two most important days in our life are the day when we are born and the day we find out why. I want all of you to think about this question, in this mad rush of life where we have to shoulder so many responsibilities, we have to run around, we have to take care of our family, job, our own self, and in that also we find some time and come to temple. One important question to reflect. Maybe you want to answer, you can answer, but reflect for some time. Question is, what is the difference between living and existing? Not so difficult. You can think of, there are people who exist and there are people who live. What is the difference? Mostly people, you can say to things, but our eyes are not trained to see things as living. We see things as existing only. There's no question of living there. But what is the difference between these two terms? Okay, very good. For the sake of, that is the word, yeah. And what did you say? The brushing, they're behind something. Okay, yes, all right words. Jatin, what is the difference? There is a term, yeah, right, you're right. There's a term they use, I'm going with the flow. Right, many times we say, we're just going. We don't know, sometimes if we look back in our life, it's a good exercise you can think of. Some of the major decisions that we took in life, was it really taken by us? Or was it just because the people around us also were doing? And we also thought maybe this is the right thing to do in life, and we get going with that. Sometimes we need to question why I'm taking up to this path of spirituality. Why Ante Narayana Smriti is so important? Why? Why it is so powerful? Actually, we don't reflect sufficiently, and hence our determination to keep that as a goal also is not very strong. It is there. Like we have so many things we want to do and achieve in life. One of them is also Ante Narayana Smriti, but it is not the goal that I want to go for it. Not really. The difference lies, if we analyze this question, the difference between living and existing. I was just doing some search on Google. I saw that, existing and living, somebody who's going with the flow, but living is finding his own flow. Existing is all about survival, but living is all about thriving. Existing is all about what you have to do, living is all about what you want to do. Existing is all about seeking security, living is all about seeking discovery. It's mechanical and routine, this is creative and flexible. This is getting through the day, but it is looking forward to the day. Looking for an escape, nothing to escape from. Life is tiring, life is energizing. These are some of the words. Actually, even outside world, people are doing a lot of research to find out what exactly it is. They don't have the insight of the spiritual wisdom which we are blessed with. And the Vedic wisdom, they train us to see life in a different way. So it is not about some cramming of verses, or like sometimes even exam is taken in a very negative way. There is a negative connotation. Oh, one more exam, there is no escape. I have to face that exam. We may think like this, but it is, we may use it, the term used there is exam, but it is actually a wonderful opportunity where if we have prepared ourselves, we can go and live eternally, free from all anxieties and miseries. Often, you see people when they go for vacation, or when they want to have a change in their life. What is it they're looking for in that vacation? Why do they need a change? Or somebody who's, after a hard day's work, goes and gets a drink. What does he want? He wants some respite, some relief. I'm done with this. Let me get a break. I want to go to some place. But doesn't matter where you go, whichever vacation place it is, after that you have to come back to your own life. Whether it is, the day after, the night before where you had drink, the next day you may have hangover and you still have to continue with your work. But there is always a seeking, there is always a curiosity inside us which wants to get free, wants to get rid of this, wants some kind of a change, break, wants to go away, get rid of this. But we don't get it. And often in life, because what else to do? Anyway, one work is there, one job is there, I have to go do some job, come back, then what to do? Cook. Then sometimes you have to do the chores, you have to clean the dish, and then sleep and, eat and sleep. Sometimes people go to watch some movies, even if it is a Bollywood movie, which apparently are very long, still it will come to an end, you have to come back to your life, and then again you have to see the same house which is not clean, you have to take the broom and start doing it. It's all difficult. This is all in the mode of existing. Actually, we should ask ourselves how much of our life is in the existing mode, how much of our life is in the living mode. Actually, fortunately, knowingly or unknowingly, we made a very conscious decision that we want to be engaged in devotion. But unfortunately, we don't know what are the benefits of doing this. What happens when somebody is doing devotion purely, pure devotion? So I thought I'll give you some 6 benefits of doing pure devotion from Nectar of Devotion, which is often quoted and which is known maybe to many of you, but it is worth meditating on these things. After all, the time that we are getting together is limited. Everybody is busy in their own life, and we have our own priorities. In that, some relief, respite, that too, not everybody gets a chance, or not everybody is blessed to stay or hear, but some of us are. So let us spend some time to understand how bhakti is so assuring, so fortunate we are that we have taken to this path, and how it can transform our life. It can shift us from the lower gear of existing to living. So here are the 6 benefits of bhakti. Actually, often, I take time to find some slides where I can show these infographics. Because every day I have to do something, so I'll go and then I have some other things. So every time even if the concept is ready, by the time I have to come and do this, something you have to search, and that takes a lot of time. But anyway, these are all very, very beautiful. The effort will be worth if you can take some things back home. If you can get benefit from this, and you get this conviction, what I am doing is right, I am on the right path. I am very fortunate that I have been selected by Srila Prabhupada, or I have come in touch with Prabhupada. Very, very rare, extremely rare. So Rupa Goswami says there are 6 benefits of bhakti. First is Kleshagni. We sing in the morning, Samsara Dava Nalalidha Loka. This is actually a blazing fire of material existence. Very difficult. Klesha Agni. So Klesha is all kinds of miseries, difficulties. Agni, where we are burning in that fire, it immediately brings relief to all kinds of material distress. I'm not making it. Today there was one, there's a person who lives here who all of you know. I don't want to mention her name. She called me and she told me that her husband's brother, they live in Singapore, and their daughter, who's hardly 23 years old, has been diagnosed with something called GB syndrome. I heard that for the first time. I have never heard. It is an autoimmune disease, and basically because of that, her body is paralyzed from neck till the toe. And she has been admitted to the hospital. The doctors, family members, they're just seeing the body getting, degraded, deplored, getting withered away, and they're not able to do anything. So it seems there is a treatment for that, some trichostomy or something, which there will be a tube which will be put inside for breathing and all, which has been done to her. She is showing some recovery, but it is just a matter of time. They have money, they have power, they have doctors, there are family members who are there. And she's saying, in my life I've never heard something like this, and to see that was so difficult. Imagine even hearing itself is so difficult for us. How difficult it must be for those family members. And she's hardly 23 years old, and she's telling, yesterday it seems she did everything in the bed, so it was all wet, and the only thing that was coming out of her mouth is, please kill me, I don't want to live in this way. Klesha Agni. Actually, it is a fact. Maybe some of us are very fortunate, and we take it granted that our bodies are working, we are getting this opportunity to do devotional service, to remain engaged. We think it is not a big deal. It is really a big deal. If you see some people, hardly 23 years old, she was doing her master's in management from Nanyang State University in Singapore, which is very, very famous university, and she had a lot of hopes and aspirations, but she didn't know, and it's all because of her bacteria, some bacteria in the body, and this causes like this. Klesha Agni. Even for the family members, even she was mentioning that her husband, he's more worried about his brother, because he's thinking that, if her pulse is going down, he may have a nervous breakdown. Actually, we all should pray. I told, I shared some prayers with her, and I told we will do some sankalpa for her. We don't know. But the doctors are saying the rate at which the body has degraded, there is very less chance that she will survive. So Subhada. Actually, Rupa Goswami, these are all geniuses. These people they have gotten the essence from all Vedic scriptures very nicely. From the banana, the skin is removed, it's peeled off, and just the fruit is kept in front of us. Our duty is just to hear, understand, gulp it. That's it. We will get it. We should have so much of gratitude. We should be so much indebted to all these acharyas who have done this work. Wonderful thing. Let us see, what is Subhada? What does it mean? So there are some important points which he shares. Please listen carefully. Srila Rupa Goswami says that the distresses from sinful activities are due both to the sins themselves and to sins committed in our past lives. So it is not that the reactions that we are getting in this life is only because of the sins that we have committed in this life. There are some sins which we have done in our past life which we have no idea. We don't have an account of it, but still they count. Generally, one commits sinful activities due to ignorance, but ignorance is no excuse for evading the reaction, distresses. Why it happens? We don't want actually physical ailments, mental disturbances, so many such things. It's because of the past sinful actions that we have done. We might not even remember, we might have forgotten, or we might have done it because of ignorance. Suppose you come to this country for the first time, you don't know, and you break a signal. Is the police going to excuse us for not knowing? No, ignorance is not an excuse. So for evading the reaction, ignorance is not an excuse. Rupa Goswami further says, sinful activities are of two kinds. Those which are mature and those which are not mature. Very interesting to know this technical differences. Those which are mature, that means we are getting the reactions of that in our life. Something happens, like I was giving that example of this person. So some physical problem, something's going wrong in our lives is because of the reactions which are mature. But there are certain reactions which are not yet mature. For example, somebody has done a criminal act. Suppose he has done a crime, but he has not been detected by the police. So the moment he is detected, the arrest is waiting for him. He will get arrested. But since he is not detected, he is living free. Something like that. Some sinful actions we have done in our past, but it has not come to a stage where we are ready to receive the reactions. But it is a matter of time when they are going to come. So they are called mature and not mature. In this way, there is a chain of sinful activities and their concomitant distresses, and the conditioned soul is suffering life after life due to these sins. Some past life sins we have done, because of which we are put into some kind of a situation in this life, and we are continuing to do sinful activities in this life. Ignorance, knowingly, unknowingly, helplessly, what we are doing. And we are creating reactions for our future suffering, for our future lives. Then he says, mature sinful activities are exhibited if one is suffering from this following four things. Chronic disease, if one is suffering from some legal implication, if one is born in a low and degraded family, or if one is uneducated or very ugly. These are some of the signs of mature sinful reactions. Many of us are fortunate we don't have that, but we don't value it because we don't know that there are so many people who go through all these problems. There are people who fight legal battles the whole life for something. They are not able to come out of it. There's some past sinful actions which they have done, the reactions of that. Some people go through all this mental trauma, disturbances, troubles, difficulties in life. So the first verse that Rupa Goswami quotes in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Yathagnihi susamridharchihi karoti edhamsi bhasmasat tatha mad vishaya bhaktir uddhava inamsi kritsnasaha. Very beautiful verse. Yathagni susamridharchihi. Now when we have this sacrifice, fire sacrifice, initially the pujari lights it with a small flame, and there will be some camphor blocks, camphor powder, so that the fire, in the fire is ignited properly and it catches and burns. Yathagni su samriddharchihi. So like the fire, when it has caught the strength, when it is burning, karoti idhamsi bhasmasat. You put anything in that fire, it will burn it to ashes. Tatha mad vishaya bhaktir. The word used, it's not it is not jnana, it is not sankhya, it is not yoga. Tatha mad vishaya bhaktir. Like that, when somebody engages in my bhakti, oh Uddhava, inamsi kritnasaha. Doesn't matter how many sinful actions he has done, because my bhakti is compared to that burning fire. It can burn all sinful actions to ashes. My dear Uddhava, just as a blazing fire turns firewood into ashes, similarly devotion unto me completely burns to ashes sins committed by my devotees. Doesn't mean that one should go on committing sinful activities and think that by doing bhakti it will burn to ashes. That is actually a aparadh, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the chanting the holy name of the Lord. It will not work. But unknowingly, in our previous life, or something we have done, and if we are engaging in bhakti, it has the power to burn into ashes all those sinful actions. There is another thing which is quoted by again Rupa Goswami. He is saying, Yena nama dheya shravana anukirtanad yat prahavanad yat smaranad apikvachit swadopi sadyah swanaya kalpate kutah punaste bhagavan nadarshanaad. Actually, sometimes some of the things that we are doing, because of the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we don't know the value of it. Prabhupada very nicely begins our day, ensures that we begin our day by chanting the glories of the spiritual master. And it is mentioned, if you read that Guru Ashtakam, after that the 9th verse, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, if somebody chants this Guru Ashtakam loudly in the morning, every single day, all his sinful reactions and desire to commit even sins will go away. So somebody may question, Mera to ja nahi raha hai, I still have desires to commit sins. It takes time. Don't worry, it takes time, but it is a guaranteed process. Here, Rupa Goswami is telling, Ye namadheya shravana anukirtanad, yat prahavanad yat smaranad avikvachit, swadopi sadyah swanaya kalpate, kutah punaste bhagavan darshanat. Swado is somebody who is a dog eater. There are some people who are born in so wretched family where there is no value, where there is no culture, they don't mind even eating the flesh of dog. Swadopi sadyah savanaya kalpate. Savanaya, he becomes qualified to even perform Vedic rituals just by chanting the names of the Lord. Ye namadheya shravananu kirtanat. What power is there in these holy names? But we don't know, and we don't have value, we don't have appreciation. He is rather saying, Kutah punaste bhagavan na darshanat. Actually, somebody who's having a darshan of the Lord, as per this verse, he's saying it is even more powerful. But even if we don't know, just by chanting, the translation of this verse is to say nothing of the spiritual advancement of persons who see the Supreme Person face to face. Even a person born in a family of dog eaters immediately becomes eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices if one utters the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or chants about him, hears about his pastimes, offers him obeisances, or even remembers him. Anyway, if we connect with the Lord, what powerful benefits are there. And the example which is quoted is very appropriate with this regard is the example of Ajamil. Ajamil committed so many sinful activities throughout his life. And at the time of death, when it is so scary, imagine your plight, you're not able to move, you're dependent on somebody for your daily these things, and that time of reckoning comes, and he saw those ferocious, scary Yamadutas coming to snatch his soul away from his body, and with utter helplessness he cries out, Narayana! My God, that one calling out of that one name, Narayana, it was to his son, that freed him from all sinful reactions. This is why Ante Narayana Smriti. We have the good fortune to know about it, practice it, yet we don't do it. So a person is born in a Brahmana family or in a family of dog eaters due to his past activities. If a person is born in a family of dog eaters, it means that his past activities were all sinful. But even if such a person takes to the path of devotional service and begins to chant the holy names of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, he is at once fit to perform the ritualistic ceremonies. This means that his sinful reactions have immediately become neutralized. So powerful it is. Of course, Rupa Goswami goes on to say, he quotes this verse of this episode of Ajamil, but he goes on to say something, I'll skip this. He says that, although one may neutralize the reactions of sinful life through austerity, charity, vows, and other such methods, which usually people do. If they come to know that they have done some sinful activities, they give charity, they do some austerity, they take some vows, and other such methods. But the imperfection in those methods is, these pious activities cannot uproot the material desire in one's heart. It cannot. That seed to do sinful activities, it still remains. It doesn't get burnt. So the example which is given in the 6th canto is Kunjara Sauchavat. Like an elephant which goes and bathes. Fully it flashes a lot of water on its body, fully bathes itself, but the moment it comes out, again, it puts dust. Because that, the tendency to commit sin is not gone from our heart. We have cleansed ourselves by doing some repentance, like, charity or something, austerity, but that desire again fructifies. However, if one serves the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, he is immediately freed from all such contaminations. Ante Narayana Smriti is possible if we know for sure that we have taken the right path, the path of bhakti. The path of bhakti under the guidance of a pure devotee spiritual master. Rest assured, we will do it. We will reach the destination. Only thing we need is that conviction, the faith to stay till the last moment of our life. There is, we're at 802. There is one thing which I missed or I skipped is about there are four kinds of effects due to a sin. There is something called bija, there is kuta, prarabdha, and what is the fourth one? Bija, kuta, phalanmukha. Bija, kuta, phalanmukha, and prarabdha. So the effect which is not yet fructified, the effect which is lying as seed, the effect which is already mature, and the effect which is almost mature. So initially he was telling mature and not yet mature, but he is telling now he is expanding it to 4. But mind you, you can go into the technicalities, I'm not going, it is there in Nectar of Devotion. All these 4 reactions of our past sinful activities can be completely nullified, burned to ashes, just by taking to this process of devotion. So we need to know the path that we are taking with certainty, with surety, with all clarity, why I am doing and what are the benefits of that. So the next 5-6 minutes that we have, let us do this, which we have been doing in past few sessions. We will chant the names of the Lord. Unknowingly, even if you don't chant other times, you chant this time, one time at least, with all feelings and devotion. It will burn so many sinful actions, so many sinful desires. So let us chant. Srinath Narayana Vasudeva Shri Krishna Bhakta Priya Chakrapane Shri Padmanabha Achyuta Kaita Bhare Shri Rama Padmaksha Hare Murare Ananta Vaikuntha Mukunda Krishna Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Vaktum Samartho Pinabhakti Kasche Aho Jananam Vyasanabhimukhyam Srinath Narayana Vasudeva Shri Krishna Bhakta Priya Chakrapane Shri Padmanabha Achyuta Kaita Bhare Shri Rama Padmaksha Hare Murare Ananta Vaikuntha Mukunda Krishna Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Vaktum Samartho Pinabhakti Kasche Aho Jananam Vyasanabhimukhyam So we still have 4 minutes. Actually these 2 lines, the last 2 lines of this verse, which is composed by Kulashekar Alvar, much before Bilomangal Thakur's composition of Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. But he picks up these 2 lines. Shri Shri Radha Damodar ki, Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So we will chant these two lines one more time, and then there are two more lines which Bilwa Mangal Thakur adds. So we will chant that, and then we will have Damodara Ashtakam. Bhaktum samartho pinavakti kaschet aho jananam vyasanabhimukhyam Pivve jivasamritameta Pivve is to drink. Jivasa is by tongue. Pivve jivasamritameta deva. Amritam is nectar. Eta deva. You can directly drink the nectar with your tongue. Pivve jivasamritameta deva. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Hey Krishna, Hey Yadava, Hey Sakheti. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti So you're all fortunate souls. You chanted so many names of the Lord. So many names. And each name has special meaning and very attractive. We were doing the meanings of some of these names. Very, very powerful. I don't have the time to start this. We are exactly in 40 seconds to go for Damodara Ashtakam. We'll stop here and continue to see this Kartik month meditation as we proceed. Srila Prabhupada ki, Kartik Mas Maha Mahotsav ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna.